Hello and welcome to day 2 of Duranglers Virtual Fly Fishing Festival, where we are coming at you virtually, not in the store, unless you come and say hi to us at the store, because our store is still open. But we want to still stay safe, and we're keeping everyone hopefully entertained, and also taking a little time. Come in the shop at your leisure, as it is, instead of everyone coming at once. So anyway, welcome to day 2. We've got some good stuff for you tonight, and we had some good stuff come out today. So first one up tonight, I should say anyway, is our Flyweight video we got with Chad Harkins. He is our sales rep from Simms, and then we have a really cool video from Theo, who is our Scott Fly Rods rep. He spent the better part of quarantine in Baja, Mexico, which boo-hoo for him, I guess, but it's a pretty sweet video, so you're not going to want to miss it. Let me first cover that we are, thanks Michael, we had some confusion on how to sign up for our giveaways. So I want to make sure everyone knows you might be watching this on an iPhone or a smartphone, which may the confusion lie. I did put in the comments on, if you're looking at this on the right side, over here on the right side of the screen, my left, you should see a comment there where there's a link to our Google form to sign up for our giveaways. Otherwise, you can sign up. It should be the first thing you see below this video on a computer. If you're not seeing this on an iPhone, you actually do have to scroll down and click video details, and you'll see it there. And what we are giving away, hopefully you guys know by now, but we are giving away a fair amount of stuff. You can see a cool picture there. A lot of hats, a lot of good stuff here. Tonight, I want to quickly mention that we had 2 videos already premiered today. Chris from Rio Products, and then Peter Knox, one of the head rod designers at Sage. He presented us with the Maverick and the Sonic. There we go. I'm going to remember this all. Got a lot to remember. And anyway, from our friends at Sage, we have a Rio Trout Reel to give away, which we are giving away on Saturday. This is a 4.5/6 reel. Great reel, Sage's quality drag system. And it's a really classic look with modern features. Medium arbor reel. I really like that reel. And then from Rio, we got a bunch of tippet. We got lots of hats and stuff to give away from all these companies as well. And then Rio, we also got some Rio Gold to give away. Fly line, some 5 weights. So that'll be going on live here and on Instagram on Saturday. Saturday, 3 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time. There we go. I confuse Mountain Daylight, Mountain Standard quite a bit. Anyway, another thing, since we're doing a video on the Flyweights, which is the new collection from Simms, we're also giving away a pair of Flyweight Waiters, which are the new waders with the Hex Grid system. You'll see in the video coming up. I didn't want to bring those home because it's a bigger box, so we got those ready to give away. And then just a quick note, we also have a handful of stuff to give away there, and then you can see our schedule on our website as well. So hopefully that's not confusing with how to sign up for our giveaways. You can shoot me a text here if you're still confused, and we'll cover that during the live session anyway. Otherwise, shoot us a call and we'll help you out. And also, it should be noted, we're going to be giving away some Smith Guides Choice sunglasses, lots of hats, lots of tippet, etc. And then obviously the Flyweight Waiters, which we are going to go through first. And this is a cool video. We shot it at the shop. It just kind of goes through all the Flyweight collection, what they have in terms of waders, packs. It's a whole system. So we're kind of excited about that. Got a little video from Simms from Chad Harkins here. So I'm going to go live with that. Feel free to ask questions in the comments. I will be there and available to answer those. And then I'll come back with any more questions, and then we'll go into our Scott Sector video. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Otherwise, here we go.
Hello everyone, my name is Chad Harkins. I'm a territory sales rep for Simms Fishing Products here at Duranglers Flies and Splies here on a beautiful sunny day in Durango, Colorado. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about our new Flyweight collection that we just launched from Simms, part of the new Spring 21 collection, starting with our new Flyweight Waiter. Pretty much the most innovative waiter, I personally think we've ever made from Simms, incorporating really cool new technologies, incorporating a lot of really cool materials. So kind of starting from the bottom of the waiter and moving up. The first thing you'll notice with the gravel guard is it's not your standard neoprene. This is called a Hex Air. Hex Air neoprene is really lightweight. It packs down smaller and it drains really quickly. So the whole inspiration behind the Flyweight collection was something to help you get off the grid. We joke that it's the social distancing collection. It's great to get away from crowds. But it's definitely something that you can hike in, or you can pack it down into a backpack and hike it in yourself if you're going a really long way. So super lightweight Hex Air gravel guard. Like I said, it drains really well. It packs down super small. Moving up the waiter, our lower here is a 4-layer Gore-Tex material. And the 4-layer Gore-Tex we have on the lower part of the waiter is the exact same 4-layer that we use on our G4 Pro and our G4Z waiter. So extremely durable in the lower leg where you really need it. And you'll notice we have an angled seam on the front of the waiter, from the top of the knee down to below the back of the knee. And the idea behind that angled seam, the back of the knee is an area of really high heat dump. So having the 3-layer in the upper part of the waiter come down a little bit further in the back of the leg is going to add more breathability to that high vapor area in the back of the knee. So Hex Air, 4-layer G4 Pro, G4Z lower here, and we have a 3-layer upper. So a 4-layer lower, 3-layer upper. You might notice this panel here that's in the crotch gusset area of the Flyweight stocking foot waiter here. And this black panel here is a 4-way stretch Gore-Tex. So it's waterproof, it's breathable, and it stretches 4 directions in that crotch gusset area where you do need to have a little bit of give when you're stepping up on rocks, getting in and out of the river. It's going to help increase your mobility, but also maintain its waterproofing. We have a single back belt loop on this waiter. It's really designed to cut down on weight. So one belt loop in the back, and then zippers, side gusset zippers on both sides, the left and the right side. They zip down about 6 inches or so, and the back panel is that same 4-way stretch that we have in the crotch gusset area. Unzipping this waiter will add 2 inches on either side to the circumference of the waiter, so you'll get an additional 4 inches. It is a great feature just for a guy or a woman who is wearing a shirt, and then maybe you want to put on a jacket or go the other direction. It's going to give you a little bit of leeway so you can kind of increase or decrease the circumference of the top of the waiter. And then what I think is the coolest feature of this new Flyweight stocking foot waiter is our Hex Grid Panel. 511 Hex Grid Tactical is a company that makes a multi-angular, multi-directional attachment point system. And that's what this is on the chest panel of the waiter. Fabric-wise, it's 1,000 denier Cordura ripstop nylon, so it's an insanely durable fabric. 12 degrees of orientation. So you can have any of our Flyweight pods here. I've got the small pod. You can have it vertically, you can have it horizontally. 12 different orientations here. Multi-angular attachment system. You can also have it on the left side, on the right side, directly in the center, like I was saying, on the top, on the bottom. There's just a number of different ways how you can use this Hex Grid panel on the chest here. But you can also use it to hook carabiners if you have a tippet tender, If you have a lanyard, anything like that, retractors, those will all hook to this Hex Grid panel. And then you might notice that the top of the waiter is cut a little lower. So we scalloped the top of the waiter so that it does have better breathability, better heat dump out of the top of the waiter, and we added an air mesh panel on the top here. So again, added breathability. We have one zippered chest pocket on the back side, and then we have a reach-through pocket on either side, the left and the right, that goes directly behind that Hex Grid panel. But you also notice once your hand is inside, this this air mesh goes all the way down from the top to the bottom of that front panel. So this is the new Flyweight Waiter from Simms. It's going to retail for $549. Next up is our pack system. We have a backpack, we have a pack vest, and then we have what's called the Flyweight Access Pack as part of the new Flyweight Packs and Bags collection. So starting with the Flyweight backpack, you're going to have a 30-liter capacity featuring this 511 Hex Grid panel on the exterior. So again, going back to the small pod that we talked about with the waders, we have a number of accessories that we'll talk about in the next video that you can attach to this 511 Hex Grid panel. One of which that's awesome on this backside here is the net holster. So if you're hiking into the backcountry, it's an awesome little attachment system where you can throw that net holster on so that your net is back and out of the way. So again, 30-liter capacity, 210 denier ripstop nylon lower, and then you have a TPU coated ripstop upper, so a tetrapolyurethane. The fabric itself is waterproof. We have water bottle holders and compression straps on either side, so a great pack to just completely load up if you're going to go get off the grid, get away from the crowds. A big U zipper on top that opens up nice and big. You do have a removable back panel back here, so you can take that panel out, you can sculpt it to the shape of your back, and then you can pop it down in here for increased comfort. It's also hydration compatible with a laptop sleeve, 2 stash pockets on either side of the interior of the bag here, and then we have one zippered accessories pocket on the top. Kind of moving around to the back panel here, you have attachment points if you wanted to throw any of the pods or a chest pack. You could attach it here. You also have tool ports, adjustable sternum strap, and then nice air mesh shoulder straps. So again, kind of going back to the breathability and the lightweight factor of this waiter, or of this backpack, excuse me. You have a compression molded back panel here, and then you have air mesh hip straps with ports on the back side here. So again, kind of going back to cutting down on weight and added breathability. You also have molly webbing on the front of the hip straps here. So these are great for attaching any kind of accessories you need. You could even throw one of our pods that we talked about onto this backpack. This retails for $199. And then my favorite piece in the new Packs and Bags collection is the new Flyweight pack vest. Flyweight pack vest is going to be 18-liter capacity with a built-in 2-liter hydration system. So going back to the fabric package here, it's going to be that TPU coated ripstop nylon upper. It is a roll top design, so as soon as you get those 2 rolls, this bag is going to be pretty waterproof for you, protect you from the elements. You'd have a bungee cord on the exterior for throwing a jacket or anything that you might need, and then you also have compression straps on both sides, so you can really cinch this down, pack it down however you need. Really breathable suspender system with your 2-liter hydration system tube coming out the right side here. And then we have the 511 Hex Grid panel on the left chest. Zippered pocket on the right and 2 big drop-in pockets on the chest for any kind of accessories that you really need when you're getting on the go. And then last but not least is a Flyweight Access Pack. Flyweight Access Pack is going to be a roll top design with really lightweight, comfortable, breathable shoulder straps here. compression straps and water bottle holders on either side, and then the same Velcro system that we have on the Flyweight pack vest. My favorite feature on this pack is its ability to reverse stuff. So if you don't need a backpack when you're in transit to your destination, but you need one when you get there, this backpack will reverse stuff into itself, and it packs down super small, so you can zip it up, throw it in your carry-on, and then you got a backpack once you get to your destination. So last but not least here with the Flyweight packs and bags, starting with our hip hybrid system and then kind of going over to some of our other pods and accessories. So the hip hybrid system is comprised of a large pod, a large bottle holster, and the tech utility belt. You get all three of these pieces for $149. So kind of starting with the back of the tech utility belt here, you have this 511 Hex Grid Panel. So we talked on the waiter, we talked about the backpack, about the different angles of attachment. You can really just start from the ground up and build your hip pack however you want. So you can add 2 small pods with a net holster in the middle. You could add a large pod, a bottle holster, and a net holster. You can really kind of fit this out however you want and kind of build it from top to bottom. So your 511 Hex Grid Panel on the back. Again, it's 1,000 denier Cordura ripstop nylon with molly webbing on the sides. So think about it when you have this on your back. You're able to spin this around and have all your attachment points back here, but you also have attachment points closer to the front of the tech utility belt as well. So you've got your hip hybrid system, you've got your tech utility belt, and then you got your large pod. And your large pod, again, is going to come with the hip hybrid system. 2 zippered compartments, so you have a front compartment and a back compartment. You have a tool port on the left side, and then also a little drop-in pocket on the right. Big Velcro attachment system, and then water bottle jacket holder on the bottom side. And you might notice on the back side of these, you're going to have these TPU coated straps with molly webbing on the back side. And that's how you attach all the different pods to the 511 Hex Grid Panel. And basically what you do is you unsnap your bottom part here and you feed these up through the molly webbing. And then basically you take this strap and you weave it out in between your molly webbing and your hex grid. So a great way to do it is kind of lay out where you want it on the pack and then start weaving the strap between the molly webbing on the back side of the pack and then your 511 Hex Grid Panel in your desired place. So you got your large pod, and then you have your small pod. And your small pod is going to be great for a little chest pack on the front of the waiter here. Again, 2 front chest pockets, tool port on the left side, and then a little drop-in pocket on the right, Velcro on the front, and then you have your molly webbing TPU attachment system on the back side. 2 different sizes in the bottle holster. Your large bottle holster is going to fit bottles up to 48 ounces. Small bottle holster, greater for smaller 20, 24 ounce bottles, but also great for a bear spray canister. It actually fits perfectly in the small bottle holster if you're in bear country. And then we got our net holster. Net holster is great for attaching to the back of the backpack, but also attached to the tech utility belt. It has the same attachment system with the 2 straps and then the molly webbing on the back side. It's a compression molded foam, so it's super durable. It fits wider neck nets and also fits really long handled nets very well. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Again, I'm Chad Harkins from Simms Fishing Products. Just wanted to thank you for tuning in and giving us your time. This Saturday, Duranglers is going to be raffling off a couple of these items. So we have a Flyweight Waiter and 2 Flyweight backpacks that we are going to auction off this Saturday. Just follow the details and good luck.
Got some technical difficulties with that camera. Anyway, that was Chad with Simms. He's our sales rep from Simms, and I had a question about the weight of the men's size large in the waders for flyweights. I'm not sure. My guess is about 1.5 pounds maybe a little less. I'm going to have to, what I'll do is I will get back to you on that, Rob. And I'm going to actually go put that on the scale tomorrow and get you an accurate answer. We got some flyweight stuff at the shop right now. We're still getting more in every day. Got a lot of the packs and those pods and a few waders as well. But those should be coming in within the next few days and weeks. And if you guys have any questions on that at all, please feel free to reach out to us and we can definitely help you with that. And then obviously, again, I had a note here that we were with the question about how to sign up for our drawings. A lot of you are probably watching this on an iPhone. What you're going to have to do, or a smartphone, there's a small arrow on the right side below the video screen that you have to click to expand the description, and that'll show you the link. I also got the link in our comments over here on the right side of the screen, so you should be able to find them there. So sign up, lots of stuff to give away, those flyweight waders obviously, and then reels, rods. We're going to talk a lot more about some stuff we're going to give away, but let's transition over to the Scott Sector, which won Best in Show at IFTD 2019. Me and Rob had the chance to get out there, and John had the chance to get out there and cast it. And it's a great saltwater rod, there we go. And it's one they built to be able to pick up a lot of line and recast. So you got fish moving, you know, you shoot out a 60-foot cast, you don't want to strip in back to 20 and make a recast. So you got a lot of power to lift that 50, 60 foot of line and then make a recast there. And this video from Theo is one that we're really excited about. I'm pretty excited for you guys to see. There's a fair amount of fishing in it and a fair amount of really cool fish eats. So feel free to continue shooting me some questions in the side and then, or in the comments, and then we'll get to all those questions as I can at the end of the video and talk about the rest of our event going forward throughout the week. But here is Theo with Scott Rods, and he is going to bring some cool stuff for you. Here you go.
Hey, I'm Theo Anest with Scott Fly Rod Company, sitting down here today with Duranglers to talk to you about our premium saltwater fly rod, the Sector. After winning both Best New Fly Rod and Best Overall New Product in show at IFTD 2019, there was obviously a lot written about this rod and a whole bunch of videos of bearded guys standing around talking about this rod shortly after winning those awards and the launch of this rod. However, not soon after this launch, a worldwide pandemic pretty much brought destination travel to a screeching halt. Well, for most of us anyway. So I'm fortunate to call Baja, Mexico home away from home, and on March 24th, 2020, I was literally the only passenger on a United flight from Denver to Cabo, where I walked through a completely empty airport upon arrival. Crazy, I know. Well, suffice to say, in the months that would follow, Sector and I became very closely acquainted. So rather than make yet another video about all the technical aspects of Sector, where I just sit here and talk about a fly rod, I thought I'd put together something that the pandemic hasn't really allowed ample opportunity for others to do. And that is to not just talk about what makes Sector unique, but actually show you firsthand what this rod can do. In this real-world Baja field test, I put Sector to the test against some of the baddest fish on the planet in some of the most harsh fishing conditions a fly rod should ever encounter. So as you watch my amateur hour production of spliced GoPro footage, there are two main characteristics of Sector that I want you to pay very close attention to. First, I want you to notice across a wide range of fishing applications how well this rod picks up large amounts of line and is able to quickly redirect the fly back to the fish for a second, third, or sometimes even fourth opportunity. This was certainly by design when we set out to make Sector. So in a perfect world, a fly rod would be one in which there was zero energy lost in transfer between your hand the tip of the rod, and ultimately the fly. The truth is, we are nowhere near that. Nobody is. However, through some material-based advancements called carbon web that we use in Sector, we've gotten a little closer to that perfect rod. So what carbon web does is it hones in some of the energy vibrations that will get lost through the casting strokes and keeps them more focused. It counteracts torsional forces and ultimately gives you better tracking and power for longer line pickups and redirecting casts. In the real world, we aren't casting to stationary targets. Fish are always on the move. And when your fly doesn't end up where it needs to be, you don't have time a lot of times to strip in 50 feet of line before you're able to then pick up and recast. You need to be able to just pick up the fly and get it right back out there to give yourself another chance. The second thing I want you to notice is the durability of this rod. As I put some bends in various models of this rod that have me cringing even just going back and watching it, just bracing for impact, waiting for these rods to blow up. The added durability of this rod can also be attributed to carbon web, which helps to reduce, it's basically an outer webbing around the entire rod, and it helps to reduce the propagation of microfractures from stress or impact that can ultimately lead to rod failure in any other rod. So another advancement as it pertains to durability would be the use of these Ceracoil Guides. So as you can see, let's get it in front of the camera here, they are bendable, bend-proof, crush-proof, bomb-proof. So one thing a rod needs to be is durable, especially in the saltwater environment, and I think you're going to see very clearly that we were able to do that with Sector. In this first video I'm about to share, both the line pickup and durability of Sector are showcased very nicely. We were fishing offshore and had been fortunate to have already tugged on plenty of marlin earlier in the day. Towards the end of the day, the Dorado, or mahi-mahi, depending on where you're from, turned on from spotty to absolutely wide open. All the birds had Dorado under them, and we were having a blast throwing big poppers to them with 11 weights. As we slid under one group of birds, the Dorado were suddenly MIA, but instead there were about 10 pretty large striped marlin slashing through the bait, and there I was holding an 11 weight. I knew this could be trouble, but I just simply couldn't resist. An 11 weight is a strong rod, but it's certainly not meant to pull on 150 pound fish that can swim 55 miles an hour. Even so, I think the fact that this rod stood up to this test against a respectable size striped marlin, and the rod didn't explode into 1,000 pieces, speaks volumes to the durability that you can expect with your Sectors. moving on to Dorado, where you will see the reloadability of Sector, as well as the rod's ability to still make, rather short casts and accurate casts in close ranges, which a lot of times faster rods can tend to struggle with if the tip isn't soft enough to allow you to cast off of it. To me, the beach environment is the ultimate test of rod versatility. 1 hour you may be fishing a long leader, an intermediate line, and trying to make presentation casts much like you would to, say, a permit. And then an hour later, the wind picks up, you have waves crashing everywhere over your face, it's just chaos. And it really just turns into more a matter of basically just willing the fly to the fish with sinking lines and just, everything you can get just to get the fly off the beach is sometimes an accomplishment. And that's not even really where the work begins. So once you've actually tied into a rooster, unlike being in a boat where you can go chase the fish, when you're standing on sand with the ground beneath your feet, you can't go chase that fish. So that fish is going to run as far as both your tackle and you will allow it to. And then it's just a matter of grinding it back to you crank by crank until ultimately one of you wins the battle. And to do that, I found that oftentimes an 11 weight is a better tool for the job, especially with big roosters. And you'll see that Sector is more than up to the task of that. Standing on a paddleboard in casting is just a balancing act in itself, which isn't really the big problem. It's more a matter of the fact that one, the fish can see you from a mile away when you're standing up versus sitting. And then secondly, if the wind's blowing at all and you're on target to the fish, just a little bit of wind is going to drift you totally off course to where you can make a cast. So what I found is that the best way to fish from the paddleboard is to sit on the paddleboard. This keeps you lower to the water, keeps you out of the wind, so you're not getting blown around as much, and the fish don't see you as much. However, from a casting standpoint, anybody who's belly boated knows it presents its own unique challenges when you're that low to the water. So what you need is a rod that is able to pick up the line and get it into a powerful back cast without slapping behind you, causing the cast to fall apart. And for that reason, with the line pickup that Sector has, it makes it a great paddleboard rod or a kayak rod or a belly boat rod because it's just so powerful in getting the line off the water in front of you, aerializing it, and getting it into a back cast. Secondly, when it comes to durability, it is an absolute rolling catastrophe, clown show, call it whatever you want. Every time you hook a fish and try to land it from a paddleboard, when you're sitting and you have a 9-foot fly rod, trying to grab the leader, trying to grab this rather angry animal on the other end and bring it onto a paddleboard. It's just, it's a recipe for disaster. And the fact that I made it through an entire season, I'm gonna really knock on some wood here because I feel a lot of it is probably just luck. But the fact that I made it through an entire year without breaking any of these rods speaks probably both to, like I said, a little bit of luck, but also some of the durability that has kind of been built inside a Sector throughout the rod.
So that video, when I first watched it, got me real pumped for saltwater fishing. Got a couple questions here about the sector. Chris Nilsson, my boy, first said, only 11 weight I ever tried, felt like I was casting a phone pole. The sector doesn't feel like that. You can still feel it into that 11, 12 weight. It's a nice rod to cast in close to, which is kind of how they built that. Rob, you asked, and I actually got it pulled up right here. Give me 1 second here. You asked if they come in 10-foot lengths, correct? And they don't. They come in 8-foot 4-inch, 8-foot 10-inch, and 9-foot. But let's just be sure about that real quick. So you can see that here on the sector. They got 2 pieces. These 8-foot 10 2 pieces are really nice boat rods if you're not traveling a lot. And then these bigger 13 and 15 weights are the only 3 pieces. And then everything else comes in at 9 foot. Yeah, I know, Chris, watching this really made me want to go to Baja as well. Surprising amount of fish species out there. I think of it as the place where you go to catch rooster fish, and there's a ton more stuff, especially those, and you see that in a few videos, those blitzing marlins and swordfish, which is pretty wild to consider, just like rolling up on something like that and not trolling it in rather, but rolling up on that blitz like a tuna or albacore blitz or something and just casting into there. That video we're gonna be putting up here. Once this stream ends, you'll be able to rewatch this, rewind it, and then next week I'll put just that video up on our YouTube so you can show all your friends. The sector replaced the Meridian, which I was a big fan of the Meridian, but a lot of people really like the sector. I'm not gonna say I prefer one over the other because I don't think I've had enough time with the sector to really make that conclusion. I got to fish the Meridian in 6, 7, 8, maybe a 9 weight in Florida. I'm going to answer these questions. Casting from water level. Yeah, a longer rod is easier to cast redirect towards the target. True. There is some argument to where a longer rod, you add that extra length, it's going to have a little bit more side-to-side wobble and not be as accurate dead on. Those 2-piece 8-foot 10-inch rods are surprisingly light and surprisingly powerful, even at that shorter length. I get the 10-foot is it's a really nice rod in a 6-weight for like a still water situation from a float tube or a little raft, but 8.5 or 9 foot is what these sectors come in, are really nice. Yeah, it's a really cool video for sure, Buck, that Theo put together, and I will probably be referencing it myself just to get myself excited to go to saltwater or Baja at some point. So all that to say, I really like the Meridian in their 8-weight. But I did notice that the sector did have a lot of pickup power. When we were casting it, I worked on picking up cast at 50 feet, and with ease, you're not like pulling it as hard as you can, losing your power. It actually picks that up and makes that cast again. And then the video of Theo bending that rod over the gunnel of the boat was it made me rethink everything I knew about that rod. So right now we have 7 through 10 weights in the sector in stock. That 7 weight's going to be a really good, obviously a streamer rod if you're looking for a 7-weight streamer rod, but great bonefish rod, great snook rod, redfish rod in Florida. 8 weights, the obvious all-around saltwater rod, great for pike fishing too. Snook, all that kind of stuff, and we're going to be talking about snook, by the way, and the new Meridian again this Thursday with Captain Jamie Allen, who lives in Florida and guides in Florida and is a Scott Pro, so don't miss that. Just a segue there. 8 weights, and then we got the 9-weight, which is my personal favorite for permit. You can also use that 8 and 9 weight as a great pike stick. Haven't had a chance to fish those rods with a heavier intermediate or sink tip, but I have to imagine with that power they have to pick up that much line, they're going to cast sink tips pretty well. And then a 10 weight as well, which is a great, that 9 weight, smaller tarpon rod. 10 weight's going to be a great tarpon rod. I don't know if I would go 10 weight for the Keys type tarpon, but backcountry tarpon where there's less wind for sure. Or juvenile tarpon or baby tarpon, great 10 weight. And then the 11 and 12 obviously are going to be great tarpon rods as well. Daniel says he owns the 9 foot 6 weight Sector. Yeah, I can imagine it's an incredible streamer rod. That's one I've been wanting to actually get out on a boat and throw with like a fast sinking tip. Not a full sink, but something like a fast sinking tip. I did used to have, and I don't have it anymore, the S4S, which was Scott's old saltwater rod, the S4S. And a lot of people say the S4S and the Meridian have similar tapers, a bit more lightweight in the Meridian. And I did really like that S4S, so I'm going to have to give that a go because I really did like that 6 weight S4S. If we could host a trip to Cabo, Rob, that has been in the works and that has been talked about at the shop. So stay tuned for that. We would love to get you out on a hosted trip to Cabo or Baja and do some fishing like you saw just a minute ago. Again, we got those in 7 to 10 weights. And if you guys have any questions, I'll try and cover those here as we close. But I do know Jamie Allen on Thursday is probably going to talk about those 8 foot 10 inch 2-pieces, which every time you put a section in a rod, it adds a little bit more weight, a little bit more dynamic to that casting. So if you've ever cast a 1-piece rod, which not a lot of companies make, you'll know what I mean, because those rods are never going to get taken out of the boat, so you don't need to break them down. So those 2-piece rods kind of fit the bill in between, and they're going to be great rods, and we'll talk to Jamie about that. And again, we had 2 other videos go live today. We had our Rio, which we talked about, and we're going to be giving away some of the new Rio Gold on Saturday. And that Rio video covers a few new things. If you like streamer fishing or if you're interested in Euro nymphing, they got some new stuff coming out, especially for Euro nymphing. A lot of people have noted that Euro nymphing lines with a loop-to-loop connector make a little bit of a hassle shooting through those guides when you're trying to make good presentations with the high stick nymphing, and seems like they have come up with an answer. And then a new line of a lot of streamer lines, The Predator series of lines is going to be a really cool one, floating and sinking, pike, trout, streamers, bass, all that stuff. Rob has 8, 10, and 12 weight Scott rods. Yeah, the 8 foot. Oh yeah, you do need to get that 12 weight out for sure. The summer is the time in the Keys or in Mexico where that 12 weight could be used, or Baja. Let's talk about that. And then again, our Sage video went up talking about the new Maverick and the new Sonic rods, which we really like as a mid-price point rod. And then from Sage, we have the Sage Trout Reel 456 to give away. And quickly, before we close, let's just take a quick look at our schedule. Tomorrow, we're really excited to talk about, and we got live going in the morning on YouTube, the Patagonia Grassroots Environmental Grants update from Dave Allen. And then he's going to be talking a little bit about Danner boots and the new Patagonia weighting belt, which to me seems like a weightlifting belt, but it's pretty cool for back support. And then we're going to dive in deep with Ty Churchwell, who is our local Colorado Trout Unlimited employee. He does a lot with our Five Rivers Trout Unlimited. He's done a lot with the shop, and we're going to talk about our local Patagonia grant, which came from Patagonia, and we were able to help secure for Ty to do some conservation work for the Animas River, which is pretty exciting. So If you have any questions on this, I'm going to go over it one more time. How do you sign up for our giveaways? It's below this video if you're on a computer. And if you're on an iPhone or a smartphone, there is a little arrow, I believe lower, let me look at that, lower left, lower right side below the video screen, and you have to click to expand the description, and you'll see that link. And it will look something like this when you get there. All you got to add in is your email address, name, phone number, so we can contact you. And if you'd like to be added to our newsletter, we're not going to add you if you don't want to be, and we don't sell information. People ask me that today. No, we don't give away people's information. This is for us to contact you, and we won't be giving that to anyone. So anyway, and then tomorrow, again, we got the Patagonia Grants update. Saturday at noon, our time, I will be doing a live Euro nymphing on the water presentation. This is going to be a new one for us, so come with your questions and watch me try and catch a fish. Hopefully the animus isn't blown out too much. And you can find everything else at duranglers.com throughout our YouTube video, or shoot us a call, 970-385-4081. And thank you all for watching. Really appreciate it. This has been a fun learning process for me and for us. And hopefully we'll be able to do more of these in the next couple months. And next year, hopefully we'll just see you in the shop, because we'll be able to do our fest in person again. Thank you, Rob. I'm glad to help anyone with any questions. Glad to talk a little bit more about the Flyweight and the Sector products that we have at the shop. And hopefully we'll see you when you swing in the shop to go fish the Animus or the San Juan, or in a few months, High Mountain Creeks, the Piedra, the Pine, the Dolores. Actually, the Dolores is fishing now, so you guys should know that if you're interested. Thank you guys very much. We really appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you so much, and you guys have a wonderful night. Take care.